This is our lower body warm-up routine. Now we're gonna come down onto a mat, and to start, we're just gonna work on opening up these hips. Now, for many of us, if we're working at a desk or we have jobs that involve sitting down a lot, it's gonna be our hips that primarily are gonna need the most opening and warming before going ahead and doing one of these sessions. So just to start, I'm gonna take my left foot forward, I'm gonna take my right knee back, I'm gonna drop this right knee behind my right hip, and I'm just gonna drop into a nice low lunge position to open up these hips. Now from here, I'm just thinking about opening up this left knee, and I'm just kind of touching into some end range positions. I can use my left hand on top of my left foot just to guide this movement, but really this is kind of a free-for-all just to get a little bit of movement and input into these hips. So this back knee is behind the right hip, and I'm just shifting around in this position here. I can have my left hand on my left foot, right hand down if I want. I can be a little bit lower, I can be a little bit higher, but the general idea is just getting some movement into these hips. Now, once I feel like I've got a little bit of warmth going into this joint, I can just start to extend that a little bit, take this right knee back a little bit further if I want, and just start to push a little bit deeper into this stretch. I'm taking full deep breaths all within my stomach, just starting to get a little bit of blood flow coming into this area. Now, once we've kind of gone past the 30-second mark here, I can now start to think about moving this leg in a slightly different way to kind of strain the body differently. So from this position, I can just take this back slightly, roll onto my heel, and then roll back into this position. You just feel like as you roll back, you just touch onto a little bit of a hamstring stretch. We're not really stretching this position, we're just kind of mobilizing and getting our body used to the movements that we're going to take it through during this session. So just touching into some end range in both directions, nothing too strenuous, more focused on the movement and continued movement than we are on any kind of isolated stretching. So just touching in, touching back, go at your own pace, go within your own range, but really just trying to get some movement into this lower body. Even if you can only stretch back to here, no problem, but just go within your own range and start to get some movement. When we feel like we've got a little bit of movement there, we can swap sides. I'll spin around so you can see from this side, left leg back, right leg forward, knee behind the hip, just touching this end range, getting some warmth into the hips to start. Feel free to play around in this position, see how it feels, taking your body into different zones. But you'll really notice the difference just going through this kind of quick routine to get a little bit of movement in the hips before starting this session. We can just walk that leg back a little bit further, take that stretch a little bit deeper, moving it around, constant movement here. We're not going through any isolated stretching, just constant movement. And then when we feel ready, we can just go a little bit more for that kind of forward back motion. So just rocking onto the heel, dropping forward, back onto the heel, dropping forward, touching into that hamstring stretch, and back. If you're feeling more confident, you can take the hands out of it. If you're feeling good, but really just trying to get some movement into this lower body. It's amazing how tight we can get so quickly just by being sat at our desk for the 8 hours. A little bit of movement here and come in. Great work. When you feel ready, spin around, bring both feet back to a level position, stand yourself up, and we're just going to do a little bit of squatting down. So we're just going to squat down and stand back up. I'll show you from the side here, feet nice and even. We're squatting down, driving the knees out, keeping our upright body, and up again. If you can only get to this position, don't worry. Come down if you can, come all the way down and drive up. Just increasing that blood flow. In we come, great work. A few more here, we can start to get the arms involved as well. Just getting some movement into this upper half now. As we finish off this warm up, we're gonna come up, we're gonna have the knees together. All we're gonna do is take right leg back now, step back, drop down, other side, step back, drop down, feel this stretch coming into the front of the hip here. A few more each side. Round and down, let's do one more each way. And last one here, and in. Hopefully, feel a little bit of blood flow into this area, feel like you're ready to get some work done. Let's take you into today's workout.